Okay.
Hi, Gini Eagle. How absolutely fabulous to have you join us from Greece.
Yeah, what a great manifestation to be sitting under beautiful bougainvillea by the hot springs of this amazing little island called Ikaria or Ikaria in Greek, where people live over 100. So it's a blue zone, and it's quite an incredible island. So it, and when and it's very pertinent actually to my book Awaken,
Yeah,
because
we
a
love
lot of what I'm talking about
you.
in there is to do with energy
Yeah.
and um, and finding and keeping in a higher vibration as
Mm,
much as I can
mm,
to stay in the flow.
mm,
And I find, coming to places like Greece and to places where people have lived over 100 is just,
mm.
an incredible energy to be part of,
I think,
and helps me to.
yeah, you don't live over 100 if you're not in the flow.
If you're not, accessing prana and yeah, I guess, part of this place is the fun that they have. They do a lot of dancing and singing and being with like-minded people and swimming in the ocean. So all the things that I've written about in Awaken.
And playing puzzlies. Are people playing backgammon in the square there? I don't know.
Absolutely. In fact, how beautiful, the mother of the family that live here. She just walked past, and her favorite thing is backgammon. And she was up all night last night. We were dancing and singing and teaching us Greek dances. But
Oh,
relaxing is their thing,
yay for
which,
being human properly, really, and
yes.
talking about fun. This book is so fun. I love all the pictures and the colors. Like it's such a good storybook. And it's so blue. It's a real blue zone book. I totally agree. So I just would love you to maybe tell us a little bit about why you wrote this in 2000 and when was it? 2020.
20.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
not before, not after. Why then?
that's a good question. Um, well, basically, I wrote it because my soul completely urged me to do it. Um, I'd been sort of training myself to listen to my highest guidance, and whenever it spoke to me, I do still now try and act upon it. And I'd been hosting Sacred Earth, who are a beautiful duo that sing divine music. So my energy was at a really high frequency. And I went to bed, and I literally was lying there, tossing and turning because I was feeling so high. And the next minute, literally, I got a tap on the shoulder, like, wake up and get out of bed and write this down. It's like, what? It's cold. I don't want to get out of bed. And so I jumped out of bed and went and got a pen and paper and stood by the fire. And I literally downloaded 22 topics. And I was thinking, this is crazy. What's all this about? And then I realized that it was chapters of a book. And even the name came through it was in about 20 minutes that I wrote all these topics down. And it said, call it, maybe call it what's blocking your flow. So what's stopping you from flowing? And um, so I thought, oh, that's this is amazing. Like, wow, how did this happen? I wasn't exactly planning on writing a book, but I'd written one um, in 2004 with my girlfriend for children. So I had written a small book before, and in my soul, I guess I knew there was another book, but I wasn't. I wasn't expecting it to come on that night. And so that's sort of how it started. And years before, when had depression and was living out on a sheep station, I I remember thinking to myself, oh, I met an 80-year-old woman who had cancer, and she was like, oh, I wish I hadn't lived my life like this. And I was very depressed and unhappy and didn't know what to do. And I remember screaming in the bath, going, I don't want to be like that. You know, I want to write my own stories. I want to live live a full, rich life and be on my deathbed feeling like I had fulfilled my mission, because I do believe we all have an incredible mission. Well, when I say incredible mission, actually, I've sort of now realized it's more like we're here to learn to love ourselves, to wake up to the fact that we are this divine nature. And, you know, when I used to say that or read it in all the books that I read, you know, Wayne Dyer and all my favorite people, Doreen Virtue and Caroline Mace, who helped me through my depression, I was like, self-love. Yeah, what does that mean? You know, so I realize now that it's just actually being and being in touch, in connection with source. I don't know if that makes any sense, but following that guidance and that higher self and what it's trying to tell you.
It makes sense to me because, again, I've been spending a long, long time listening to all of that and thinking into all of those things. But what I love that you've done with this book is make that make sense. You've put it in 22 very chunkable, gorgeous chapters and given people exercises to do. You've called it a guidebook to empowerment. So it's a very, very good way of helping people come to that realization, and a very, very simple, very entertaining, actually, way of bringing people into the flow.
Thank you. Yeah, I really felt like I wanted to put other people's stories in there as well to corroborate with what I had experienced, you know, because some of it is about discovering past lives. And I was like, yeah, people are going to think I'm mad, but if I put my yoga teacher's version of it in there, or some of my clients, maybe, you know, they'll see that it could be a possibility.
Yeah, I think like, if anybody takes the time to listen to all of these books that we're engaged with this month, the corroboration and the collaboration and the similarity in what people are saying can't help but move you into a community of awareness that's very, very
Yes.
special, very special.
Yes.
In
Yeah, that's really.
Sorry, I was just thinking one of the first people, or one of the stories is your son, because he does the foreword in the whole book. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I decided to choose my son because, you know, you read people's forewords and often they're, you know, very glowing from a colleague or something like that. And I could have done that, but then I was like, no, I'll get my son who's very real and knows me so well. And yeah, I think what he wrote was very touching, and I feel very honored that he did that for me. And I know that when he was young and first I discovered all these concepts and had these experiences of talking to spirits, and he probably thought that was a bit crazy, but then he did start to understand and see the flow and the synchronicities, and which is what the book is about quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I also put in exercises, as you said, because I wanted, like, I've given everything that that I felt was very useful to me. And so it could be an exercise to do with a meditation or a movement or a mantra or a task, such as with writing and burning old patterns and thoughts and beliefs, that are blocking the energy, the flow,
Yeah.
which I even did last night
Don't
under the
tell
full
me you've
moon.
still got blockages to your flow. Surely not.
What's that?
Don't tell me you've still got blockages to your flow, Ginny.
Yeah, I do. And I wrote some of them down last night, and I was like, yeah, I used to write pages and pages and pages, ancestral stuff and all the things that get in the way. And yeah, now there's smaller fears, um, which is funny, like even we lost a bag at the last leg of our journey. And I know I could trace back my energy and how I feel like I created it because I had this fear from losing a bag years ago. And I sort of um, thought to myself, oh, we're nearly at the last stop and everything's gone really smoothly. So there'd been this underlying fear. And then the bag didn't turn up. And then I said to Peter, I'm sorry, I think I created that because, I put out this fear. Anyway, I let it go and the bag turned up the next day. But it's just subtle things that are still little stories that are running in the background.
And I just want to say while this is happening, because your book has got a beautiful sunbeam all through it. The gold is incredible. And it's a very Greek thing, gold, also, that
Yeah.
whole Adonis and the rising sun, etc. So you and I, the sun is just beaming in and it's beaming into you too. It's flicking all through your hair. It's the same sun. We're on the opposite side of the globes. Here I am in New South Wales, over the hills and far away in the country. There you are on a little Greek island, and that same sun is beaming on both of us. And I think, your book is like a ray of sunshine. It's light. It's not heavy at all. It just brings people's energy up reading it or being part of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a beautiful thing to say.
It's
And I like that analogy too, that the sun's shining on us everywhere, because I guess that's the sort of, not conclusion, but, well, in a way, I I came to that realization that of the oneness,
mm,
that everything is connected always, everywhere.
mm,
And quantum physics states that. I haven't been hugely scientific in the book, but I have quoted a number of scientists.
mm,
But we know that now, that there is this thing called oneness,
mm,
and we are affecting each other,
mm,
and we are connected to nature, of who I've drawn a lot of energy from, and hopefully given back to, by planting lots of trees on the
mm,
biodynamic farm that we created.
mm,
Um, but I do realize that we're made of light, and that is a funny concept to grasp. But I think we know that when we're sitting with the sunset or the sunrise,
mm,
we just feel that deep connection
mm,
and melding into the rays.
mm.
And yeah, we're just made up of this handful of cells. And we really get so involved with the identity of who we think we are that it creates so much suffering.
We're
And
creating our own suffering.
I even changed my name in the end to Eagle, because I just thought eagles help me to lift above and look down on my little self, my little ego that's
Mm.
trying to run the show and wants to prove itself, or, whatever we're
Yeah,
trying to
that's
do.
mysterious. The whole journey is still so mysterious, no matter which way we look at it or how we slice it up. It's a very
Yes,
mysterious
it
journey.
is. It is.
Mm. You know what I'd love?
So energy. Yeah.
sorry, is if you
I
felt
just,
the urge to read a little bit of something to us or some part or parts of your book, just I think
yes,
it really helps us all get a flavor of what's in these pages.
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
So my I've I've got a problem. I think it's called refuse to choose. So I had so many bits that I wanted to read out, but
That's
I've
go.
taken little excerpts.
Mm.
That's a word, excerpts. Um, so this is from chapter 1, which is about energy. This is what I've been working on, and it's what I want to share with you. We create our reality, whether we like it or not, consciously or unconsciously. What we focus on is what we create. What we give our attention to grows. Our energy flows where intention goes. This is because we're made of energy and energy follows thought. I spent a long time wondering where my power, inner peace, and best self were, and focusing on the fact that I had low self-esteem, felt like a victim, and had no power. But I gradually realized my peace and power were inside of me all along, and that no amount of trying to find them outside myself, either from another person or from the things I achieved, would bring it to light for me. This is how I felt many times over the past 20 years, emotionally weak, insecure, unsure of my direction, self-critical, doubtful, and worried. Sometimes I felt jealous and angry, but mostly I felt lacking in power. Who am I? What am I meant to be doing with my life? How do I find peace and my center? I know there's more, and I really want to find it. Does this unsettled feeling come from my marriage? Is it because I'm lacking a career? Is it where I live? Was it my childhood? In between these negative thoughts, I had great moments of clarity and connection. All these were external issues, and little did I know at the time I was to find the answers inside. And then I wanted to read a little bit more.
But how good is that? I mean, it's what we do, isn't it? It's just like, why do I feel so bad? You know,
Yeah,
what is it that I'm not doing or am doing or should be doing? And
that's right.
it's such a journey. And I think you know, our wellness, the way that we define it over here at Soul Advisor, is comprised of 7 parts, and any of them could be at fault. So, you know, it might be our connection, our ancestral kinship connections. It might be our family. It might be the community in which we dwell. It might be, you know, it might be our connection to earth that's lacking. It might be our whatever else, you know, we've got 7 parts. So I feel like it's a journey of discovery, isn't it? To become well,
Isn't it?
really a big journey of discovery, and taken as it should be as a journey of discovery, then our quest for ultimate wellness or ultimate health is just fabulous, you know?
It's fabulous.
It
And
is,
it's a remembering in a way
yeah, it's a
of our true nature.
mm,
Um, so then I just wanted to read a bit about signs and synchronicities.
mm,
I knew there was more to learn about myself, and I was disconnected, searching for something. My inner guidance was hinting at directing me towards maybe a different approach to life that I hadn't experienced so far. As I was soon to learn, the universe wants to help us. The more we notice this, the more the synchronicities unfold in our life. Synchronicities are repetitive signs that are indications, communications, or confirmations from the universe which help us observe the guidance of our higher self, our intelligence. They say to us, you are on the right track. So, yeah, once I started to clear my energy and release these old patterns, eventually my guidance and my higher self could come through. It's sort of like turning up the volume on that
mm,
channel. So our animals started coming to me,
mm,
like the American Indians and the Aboriginals um, believe. So the owl was one of my first connections to the message of my higher self. I'd been drawn to books such as Animal Speak by Ted Andrews, which became my Bible, was becoming clear that these beautiful creatures were trying to get my attention. An owl would show up in the middle of the day, in the middle of the road, or sit on the gatepost as I came home. Animal Speak told me that the message was to go within, to listen to my inner wisdom. I'd started meditating, so I would spend time in silence listening to my inner voice. I heard my inner voice saying to me, it's time for you to separate from your husband. There's more for you to learn and do. You need to move on. I resisted this for a long time. I was getting sick. Crazy PMS, sinus issues, jaw, back, headaches, backaches. I didn't want to hurt my husband and my children. Where will I go? What will I do? So eventually the owl got fed up with listening to me, and in the middle of the night, when I was coming home, flew into my windscreen, and I picked it up and took it home. And I learned that animals can sacrifice themselves for us, for our growth. They're beautiful spirits, and they had come to assist us. So that was quite profound signs that I started to get towards listening to what my soul was urging me to do. And then I was learning through Reiki, which energy healing, which I speak a bit about in the book, that old patterns from childhood were disrupting my energy field and causing blockages. They disrupted the vibrations, and my body was telling me loud and clear that I needed to go within. And I was experiencing lethargy and breathlessness. So I started to realize that I needed to differentiate between my ego and my higher self. So how do we tell the difference between the voice of our ego and our higher self? Our higher self, or our true self, is quiet, small voice of knowing, which we tend to only hear when we become still enough to listen. It gently guides, supports, nudges, and promotes independence, and is free and open. Our higher self never dies, never lies, and wishes for us to experience a manifestation of our dreams. It says, I can, I know, I believe, I am. It has no identity, therefore is one with all, free from comparison and mental suffering. So our ego is the opposite. It can seeks to judge and criticize and undermine us. It can confuse us, and when we get stuck and feel weak, the ego likes to play games. It can be quite loud and wants attention, can seek personal gratification, and is often competitive and reactive. So, yeah, that was quite a big awareness that this internal self-talk was going on all the time. And I needed to master my mind and get hold of it. And that's where I started writing down a lot of the patterns and my father and my mother's patterns and burning them. uh, and going back to my inner child. So I've got some exercises about reframing events that happened in my life. So, yeah, there's some really good healing exercises that I still use to this day. And then I go on in the book to talk about energy blocks and how your mind, body, wisdom is connected. So there was another bit I just wanted to read.
Please.
On page.
Feel quite privileged to be your listening post.
Thank you. I really so this was a bit about the stress and tensions of daily living and persistent negative thoughts combine to create blocks and imbalances to the flow of energy in our physical body and our auric field. They may interfere with our ability to clearly connect with our guidance. So blocks can be physical or mental traumas, emotions from pollution, as in toxins, in the environment we live in, what we're eating, and negative experiences or thoughts. And to understand energy blocks, we need to understand vibrations, which are extremely subtle. And we pick up on energy vibrations from everything around us. I'm sure you've noticed how you might feel sapped of energy after going to a shopping mall or spending time with a melancholic friend. So sometimes we feel agitated, anxious, or fearful. We may also feel constricted, tight, tired, sluggish, stressed, or strained in our bodies and our minds. These symptoms are not always physical, but may be a result of unexpressed emotions, such as sadness or regret, trapped in our energy field. On the other hand, you may feel more energized after spending time in the healing vibrations of a garden, a forest, or an ocean. So in yoga, we talk about vrittis, which are translated as waves or ripples of disturbances upon the calm waters of the mind. And the classical definition of yoga in the Yoga Sutras is to reunite the mind with its calm and peaceful state, or samadhi, our true self. So in here I have some exercises with breath work, and my favorite exercise is about connecting to the earth and connecting to the higher, to the life force energy, and visualizing it and breathing it and drawing it through our whole spine to calm and relax the nervous system. And to draw energy in from the earth. And I talk about grounding in here and using your roots to nourish you, to really develop a hugely strong root system. Because so often we're just in our thoughts and our minds, which is what we need to master. And that makes us anxious. So if we bring our awareness down to Mother Earth and to the light, I call it vertical alignment rather than reaching out externally to try and get energy. We can bring it from trees, from all sorts of sources.
Do you know what? It's probably the most important lesson in all of it, isn't it? I mean, we're caught in a late night capitalist world, which talks to us about needing so much stuff. Need.
Yes,
And the fact of the matter is the stuff that really leaves us feeling happy, whole, and connected is so simple. It's water, it's
it's
sunlight, it's food from the ground, it's just
yes,
moving our body. It's the simple things
it's
that give us
simple
such
things.
joy. And, your book really brings that. And all of the things that you've talked about here just now are simple, and you present them with grace, and they're drawn from your own life experience and training and put there in one book for anybody who cares to listen. Yeah.
Yes, and I wanted to make it really, really practical. And yeah, and it is like I channeled a lot of nature spirits.
Mhm.
And that was what the first book for children was about, communicating with animals and spirits. And these little birds are saying, hear the birds, they call in different ways. Breathe and relax as you listen to their songs. And bird song is such a simple thing to bring your awareness back to the divine, back to your true nature.
And
These are all our true nature.
and they're everywhere. Well, we're so lucky in Australia, aren't we? We have so many birds. But
We
even
do.
if you're in the middle of Tokyo, there's birds. There's still birds. So, it's a beautiful kind of last lesson there, for people to know that it's just totally available. Coming back to self, coming back to spirit, and connection is just so totally available all the time.
It is. And then once you do that, in the book, I talk about how, um, my relationship started to change, and how taking responsibility for myself, if it's to be, it's up to me, not blaming in relationships and seeing the mirrors in relationships. And then as my energy started to clear from letting go of these old patterns, I have started to, attract higher vibration, situations and people and things into my life. And so I met my beautiful soul partner, um, over this last 20 years. And just that was like a hugely synchronistic meeting where I was listening to my guides driving to the beach one day, and they got hold of my steering wheel and told me to drive into this beach and walk down the beach and walk back, and there was my future partner standing there. And I tell that story, and I give specific steps as to how to work with the law of attraction. I talk about the universal laws and how they're very explicit laws, spiritual laws, not man-made. Um, and then, yeah, towards the end of the book, I talk about gratitude, which is a high vibration, um, keeping that in your mind all day, every day, um, giving and receiving, and how I'm still learning. The universe just so wants us to receive, and wants us to be light and have fun and play, and the more I do that and give to myself, breaking the old patterns of, my parents who were, you know, a bit stingy, I suppose, and not loving and giving to themselves, um, the more the universe gives. And we need to see giving and the law of giving and receiving, which there is a law. Whereas you breathe in and you breathe out, you give, you receive. But we're just programmed to give a lot of women particularly. And um, just, showing how those imbalances can cause disease within your life. And so, yeah, I'm really, really, really keen that people understand that we can heal ourselves. And I have used Reiki and meditation and yoga and nature and organic food. And I don't even know a doctor, touch wood. But, if I do, I had a sore throat the other day, and I realized because I now trained myself to feel into what the imbalance is about, which I believe comes a lot from our emotions, and your energy getting low because you might have been eating the wrong food, or I don't know. Um, and then I realized it was because I'd been having an issue with my sister, and we talked it through. It had gone on for a year that she hadn't really wanted to talk to me very much. And then finally she told me why. And so I listened, but I didn't want it to defend myself. I wasn't able to express. So then I got a sore throat the week later because I hadn't released that energy. And I go like that because it gets stuck. It's just like a frequency.
Yeah.
And then finally I was like, why have I got a sore throat? Okay, I need to cry and I need to express. And then it went away. So I just feel like it's so exciting to understand that can be so empowered and take
Take
full
those
responsibility for our
handlebars, take
well-being.
those handlebars and drive that vehicle, whatever it's going
Yes,
to, wherever you need to go. But, giving ourselves those tools and those handlebars
yes,
and knowing that we are responsible for our own health and wellness is just such an important lesson for everyone.
it really, really, really is. I
Mm.
think it's one of the big keys. Um, so I said it, one of the last things, we're part of the human race, but we are human beings. So let's be aware of our stress levels before they drag us down. Let's slow down, enjoy the being, let our spirit catch up, and be gentle with ourselves. Acknowledge that there are many dimensions to us, and we are all interconnected, each one of us affecting the other. In order to be a well-being, we need to address our mind, body, and spirit, constantly monitoring the balance of our energy flow and realigning our thoughts and actions to connect with our higher self. To activate our body's self-healing mechanism and keep our system in balance, we need to keep the prana we're absorbing through our chakras and energy field cleansed and free from blockages. Keep our focus on our central core channel, breathing in energy through our crown and drawing energy up from the earth. As we awaken to this awareness, our vibration is raised and our hearts expand. Then we may more consistently notice that we attract to healthier foods, people, and situations. We may start to feel more inclined to give more generously and believe that we deserve to receive and live more easily in the flow.
Oh, love that. Thank you. What a great final statement, actually, Ginny, and may everybody follow your advice. And since we're going to have this up on YouTube, they can play it again and again and buy the book. Just keep to it.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
I can't.
I really appreciate all the work that you guys are putting in
Mm.
for humanity.
Well, all of us. It's not you guys, it's us guys.
Us
You know,
guys, all of
it's
us
us
guys.
guys. Yeah, we're one big thrumming community, and it's now 57 countries, Ginny, that we have with us.
What?
So, it's a big, big community, and your words will go out to that community. They'll find places where they lodge and vibrate and sparkle, and it will all keep moving. So our job is to continue to create this force field around the planet. And you're my sister in the sun today, so I'm sending up and through. And aren't we lucky to live on this beautiful planet, Ginny? Aren't we lucky and blessed?
We are so incredibly lucky, and I guess that the more we raise our vibration, the lighter we can tread on beautiful Mother Earth, because she really is a living being that needs our respect and love.
Oh,
And
as mine. How about yours? Yeah, well, I'm going to leave you to go back to your bougainvillea and your hot springs and a Greek dinner. I'm going to enter into the cold. It was snowing here yesterday, into the cold of the winter here, and this world will keep turning, and we'll keep turning.
that's right.
Yeah, so thank
Wherever we are is perfect, isn't it?
you. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Bless you, Ginny. Have a beautiful holiday over there, and look forward to talking with you when you get back.
Thank you. Blessings to everybody.
Thank
Much love.